The working-level talks among the two Koreas and the United States and Sweden have a special meaning as the negotiators from the three countries discussed important issues while staying at the same facility. What's especially noteworthy is that South Korea was also included in the discussion. All eyes on whether the three sides will be able to find a breakthrough in the stalled denuclearization talks.
U.S. Special Representative for North Korea Stephen Biegun and senior North Korean diplomat Choe Son-hui met face-to-face for the first time. What drew particular attention is that South Korea also participated in the talks as a mediator. This runs counter to the past practices when Pyongyang refused to include South Korean envoys in talks with the U.S. Former South Korean Unification Minister Se-hyun said in an interview that the trilateral talks in Sweden have a special meaning because in the past, South Korean envoys used to wait behind closed doors until meetings between Pyongyang and Washington were over in order to hear the results from U.S. officials. This means that Seoul was able to proactively mediate the talks to rule out any misunderstandings and help Washington and Pyongyang bridge their differences. The three countries have been lauded for narrowing down the involved nations to the two Koreas and the U.S. and focusing solely on concrete steps to produce tangible results. Special Presidential Advisor for Unification, Diplomacy and National Security, Moon Chung-in stressed that the inclusion of South Korea in the Sweden talks is a big step forward and that Pyongyang and Washington are strongly determined to solve problems through negotiations. Earlier, the South Korean government offered to ease sanctions against the North when its denuclearization process reaches an irreversible stage and promote inter-Korean cooperation. Attention is on whether or not Pyongyang and Washington will manage to narrow their differences on the easing of sanctions and the scope of denuclearization.